let's start building our actual design in the new way in our Ionic. So we go back to our HTML and make sure you mark the row, the center row. So in here, all the columns in that one, let me show you again if I don't, but only the columns in the row that's called main. You need to delete those. They need to be empty because we're going to create a new one. Same with the CSS, just go in here and just remove it, like so. And remember to keep the 2 curly brackets, really important, we need those. So we're kind of starting on a fresh HTML here, and we're going to be using Emmet to create our new rows because we need a little bit more, and we need a little bit more into what we actually see on the page. So let's go to this grid here, and I want to show you this part here. It says ion-col, and then it says col-12 space column-sm. So this is what we would use to create a more responsive grid system depending on the size of the screen. So if it's small, big, desktop, mobile, whatever. And we're going to be using these. This is just one of those. So there are 5 different, which I showed you in the last video, where it says SM, XL, LG, MD, and so on and so on. So like here we can see the menu actually disappears. Like now, this is the breakpoint for the menu. And that are actually being put in by things like this, so column-sm. So once you get to a breakpoint, something will be removed, and we can just use this HTML utility here, or this HTML attribute here, to create this change. So that's really cool for us to do. And let's go up here and see these are the 5 different, in our case, well, XS, SM, MD, LG, and XL. And you see there's a value to it as well, but we'll go back to that. So we're going to be using Emmet here, and we're going to be using for first here just Emmet, just ion-col, and if we click tab, it's going to create the just a standard column here, and that's kind of cool. But we want to add a little bit more. We want to use these arrays, these squared brackets, and in here we can do this column dash, and let's hit tab again, and it will print out. There we go. It will print out this in a moment. Column dash equals, that's fine enough for now. We're going to change it and use the web strong to change multiple lines of code if they're exactly the same. But we kind of want to just do this so we can use these things together. So let's keep it like this and continue with this. Next part, we want 12 rows, of course, like this. But we want to add a little bit more. We don't want to write the text all the time because we're lazy. And the reason we're using this col dash is because we want to add this col dash sm and so on after this. So let's create 12 and let's add a header 2. And we're going to use curly brackets to punch in the specific text. So we're going to be using header here, and we're going to be using the $sign to print out a number. So it starts from 1, goes to 1, 2, 3, up to 12 in our case. And we also want to add some paragraphs like this. So paragraphs can be added just as we can with the other one, but we don't want them to be inside the header. We want them to be next to the header. So we want to add them, and another sign for add is plus. And then we're going to just use a plus and type in the P for short for paragraph, and then do another curly bracket to punch in some text. And let's just write whatever came into my mind, which is kind of weird, I guess, which it usually is. Yes, let's go. So this is our long Emmet piece of line, and we're just going to press tabulate, and you see now it prints out a ton of code here. And that's kind of a good way, and we can actually, I can remember now we mark this, or it's the next video, that's in the next video, but that kind of gives us the standard or the default stuff we're going to be using or going forward with in our movie. So one line prints out into about 30 lines of code, which is awesome.